Hi, accounting firm partners. How are you? Jay Gabrani here. Thanks very much for joining me. Today's question is, Jay, do you have any time-saving tips for accounting firm partners? I certainly do. Some of them are outlined in my report, Accounting Partner Success Secrets, but I will go over them here. And I have 3 tips for you. 2 of them are more based on how to limit the interruptions in your day, and the third one is based on your workflow, how to really optimize your workflow a lot more. Interruptions. Okay. With the advent of technology, what has happened in accounting firms over the last 10 years? Everyone seems to have a cell phone or a BlackBerry, and all of those little tools and gadgets, they have notifications to let you know whenever anyone is trying to get a hold of you. Now, an email comes in, a little ping will go off, or someone's phoning, and of course you have your ringer. The number 1 tip would be is when you are sitting down to concentrate on important work, your most important activities, maybe client assignments, maybe business building activities for your firm, shut them all off. Okay, just turn them off. Give yourself an hour, 2 hours, whatever that amount of time is for you to focus. Because if you can then focus, you'll be a lot more productive, you'll get a lot more done. And that, I think, is the most important thing about, about what you're doing every day, is you want to become more productive in the same amount of time. So number 1, shut off all your notifications. Let your assistant know that you're not to be interrupted, no phone calls coming through if you're in your office, and just, limit that. Because the more you get interrupted, you know what happens. You're working on something important, you're starting into it, let's say you've been into it 10, 15 minutes, and then ping, your BlackBerry notification goes off that you have an email. Now, regardless of how important that email is at that very point in time, your concentration now is off what you were doing, and it's now on to the BlackBerry. Or if you get a phone call, same thing. You may take that call, even the fact that it rings, and you may look at it and say, okay, I'll call that person back later. You've now lost your concentration, and you've lost your focus on what it is you were doing. So turn off all of the technology, even if it's in your office, your own phone, mute it, and limit those interruptions. The second one is definitely when you're in your office. The second thing that you get interrupted with a lot is the whole open door policy thing. Now, back when I worked at Price Waterhouse, it was Price Waterhouse back then, and Deloitte & Touche in '95, I knew that this was kind of the in thing. It was really growing in popularity across firms, was the open door policy, to give your team, to give anyone access to you at any time so that you could foster communication and the like. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But that was more, that's kind of old school now, because now people can get a hold of you so many different ways because you have that technology, BlackBerries or PDAs or whatever it may be. You got to close your door. Why? Because, again, you got to limit the interruptions. It's the same thing as the notifications that we discussed in time-saving tip number 1. If people are interrupting you to answer their questions and their concerns, then, there's a problem there, because the stuff you're working on, I hope you'll agree with me that you as the accounting firm partner are working on the most important things in the accounting firm. Again, whether it be the client assignment that you're working on or whether it be the business building activities for your firm, there is nothing else more important. So if people are coming in and interrupting you during your focus time, then that's making you less productive. And in a way, this again is a little controversial, but aren't you kind of then, is that not unfair to your clients? Because you're supposed to be working on their assignment, or maybe even unfair to your own firm because you're supposed to be working on the business building activities of your firm, yet you're getting interrupted with sometimes, let's be honest, questions which you don't have to be the ones who answer it. So that's time-saving tip number 2 is close your door, and let everyone know, let your team know, whoever sits outside your office, your assistant, let them know that you are not to be interrupted so that you can focus and you can concentrate and be very, very productive. Now, the third one, and this one again is going to be controversial, but I'm speaking from experience here, especially with the advent of BlackBerry. I got my BlackBerry in 2005, and before long, I was inundated on that BlackBerry with emails. And handling emails, folks, your charge-out rate, the average charge-out rate for the partners that I've been speaking to and interviewing, $200, $250 an hour. Why are you answering your own emails? Why are you reading all of the emails that come to your inbox? I'm going to give you one specific example of a friend of mine who is an accounting firm partner, He was spending upwards of 2 hours a day back and forth on emails. Now, some of them were client emails, and I'll get to that in a second. Some of them were maybe firm emails from different people in the office. And then, of course, there's various emails of, newsletters you're reading or e-zines you subscribe to or what have you. So getting your emails read by someone else and then having the most important ones forwarded to you is exceptionally, exceptionally important. He was spending 2 hours. After that suggestion, what did he do? He basically delegated the responsibility of opening up his email inbox every day to his assistant. Now, yeah, it takes your assistant some time. That's fine. But your assistant is pretty involved in your daily activities anyway. He or she would know what has to happen, and they'll know the importance of various emails. So what I had him do was, yes, he had his normal email address, which all of his clients knew, and all of the various subscriptions he had, they all sent their emails to that one address. His assistant then went through the inbox for that address on a daily basis, and he had a private email address that only the assistant knew that was hooked up to his BlackBerry. And she then sent, in this case it was a she then sent him the most important emails through to his BlackBerry. So regardless of where he was, if there was an urgent client issue, he knew about it. If there was something that she thought was important, even from a family member maybe, like, his wife had sent an email, she made sure it forwarded to him. This then ultimately sliced down his time to about 20 to 30 minutes a day. So an hour to an hour and a half of time savings, 5 days a week, 5 to 7.5 hours of time, which just basically became free. So, that, again, it's a little controversial. For some people, they find a real satisfaction in getting into their email in the morning and clearing out their inbox. Not the best use of partners' time, folks. So I'm not really sure, how you get over that, except for making the step and delegating the responsibility. That one is ultra important. That one can create immediate time savings for you so that you can spend that time on other, what I'll call more productive and more fruitful activities. So just to recap here, 3 time-saving tips. Number 1, when you're doing your productive time, shut off all your notifications, your phones, your email notifications, Blackberries, tweets, anything like that. Number 2, shut your door, whether you're in your office or you're in your home office. Same thing, you can also let your family know that you're busy for the next hour or something and shut your door so that you can become productive. And thirdly, delegate the reading of all of your email as opposed to doing it yourself. So hopefully that was helpful. Once again, to get more tips and insights, you can catch up with me at my blog. The address is www.boostaccountingreferrals.com. Thanks very much, Accounting Firm Partners. Jay Gabrani signing off. Take care.